Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello everyone, welcome to W18, the Watford fan channel. It's Friday night and I thought I'd do a Q&A with you guys. When the questions start to roll in, we'll get this Q&A going. But yeah, thought international break. We normally do a Q&A during each international break, so I thought this was the perfect time ahead of the weekend to get one out for you. No better time than on a Friday night to get one of these Q&A done. And then on next Wednesday, I've got the fans forums, hopefully bringing some content to you guys after the forum. We've got Shane Hemmel, who you might recognise from the fan cam as well. Some other fans who will be giving their opinions after what we'll be hearing at the fans forum. So we'll try and give as much information as possible. And then the Saturday after, it's back to Premier League action against Liverpool at Vicarage Road. So a really jam-packed week coming up next week, and then the Christmas period. The content's going to be coming thick and fast. Away game after away game. I've booked my tickets for Everton alongside the 300 other Hornets who will be making the trip up to Goodison Park. So really looking forward to that one, the Marco Silva derby. Anyway, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Got what's up, Jacob? Hello, the football fan chat. Evening, Luke. Yo, when's the next Radio and Love Sport? This Sunday. I'm actually hosting the show, so if you can tune in, make sure you do that, Love Sport Radio, or if you want to call in as well, lovesportradio.com if you want to listen live, 7 till 8 on Sunday. Aaron says, thoughts of Peñaranda being available for selection. Really big topic, this one, and it's kind of gone around the Watford fan base as if it was a new signing, really. Peñaranda's been having issues with his work permit, and to finally get it secured and sorted is really good news. I've heard he's a little bit 50-50 whether he will play for Watford this season in terms of getting into the team. However, I would like to see him maybe come onto the bench if there is an injury. And with reports of Stefano Akaka going off to Fulham from Italy, I think Peñaranda could take that spot up back on the bench. So really interesting to see what Javi Gracia does with Adalberto. He's got a bright future. We all know that. Did really well in La Liga for Granada. Struggled at Udinese, but hopefully at Watford we can really see the best of him. I saw him in the Under-20 World Cup for Venezuela and he looked a bright prospect. So if you can transfer that form from international to Watford, then I'm sure we've got a real player on our hands. What do you think of Austin's interview and VAR coming next season? Great question, Luke. Number one, I thought Austin's interview was very... I mean, I love players being honest, and that was great to see. However, I thought it was really poor from what he was saying. He very one-sided. He didn't think about the penalty decision we should have had. I think the fair result was 2-2. They should have had a goal, Southampton. However, how we haven't got a penalty, I will never know. So I thought that was poor from Austin, not to mention the decisions at the other end, just because his goal got disallowed. But I think the press officer and Mark Hughes has to have a look at themselves to let someone in that situation go out and speak to the press in that kind of heated fashion. I didn't really think that was a good idea for Southampton, but not really any of my business. And VAR coming next season, I'm all for video technology coming into football. However, it has to be slick and it has to be tried and tested. I thought at the World Cup it was haphazard. I didn't like the fact the referee made the decision. It should be left to a third umpire or third official or fourth official or fifth official in the box upstairs. They should be making the decision without any noise, focusing on the decision, whereas the referee would go onto a little screen, same size as my laptop, and have a look at a decision where he's got 80,000 people watching him, he's sweating, he's hot, his head's gone really, and I just don't think it's fair. I really don't think it's fair for a referee to be put under that scrutiny and that pressure in that moment. So I'm all for VAR, but the referee should make the decision. It should be a fifth official upstairs in the box, similar to cricket, similar to rugby. And number two, it has to be quicker because it's not fair on the fans inside the ground to not know what is going on. Who do you think? What do you think the score will be against Liverpool? Interesting, Chris. We always do perform against the bigger sides, and Liverpool will be a tough test. However, they're not in the best of form this season. They have picked up points, but I think they've been vulnerable, particularly in the midfield. And I fancy if Capoue and Decore turn up, we can really kind of stamp our mark on that central areas. If we do that, then I think we've got a very good chance of getting something out of the game. However, the front three of Firmino, Salah, Mane is just absolutely lethal. Even Sturridge off the bench, who can provide something different for Liverpool. So it's going to be a difficult one, Chris. However, I do think we can maybe pick up a point. I'm going to go for a high-scoring draw. Similar to last season, I'm going to go for a 2-2. And I'd definitely take a point, by the way. Mr. Briz beat me to the Peñaranda question. I knew that would be a talking point. Let me know down in the live chat, what do you make of Peñaranda? Because it's a really interesting one whether he will actually play for Watford and be in the squad, matchday squad anyway. But yeah, I've heard mixed reviews about him. Some people say he's a world beater and some people say he's a little bit on and off. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe give him a run in the FA Cup. That's only around the corner in January. But yeah, it's just a bit annoying that it's taken a couple more months to get this work permit sorted. He will go to Everton like Richarlison. I doubt, the Watford Hornet says, I doubt he'll get into the team. He was awful at Malaga. Yeah, he was pretty poor, and that's what I've said, Jude. I think he's mixed reviews have come from Peñaranda's ability. Some say he's a really good player. Some say he goes a bit missing in most games. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not going to make a full opinion on him until we do see him in action for Watford. Not in use. Yeah, let Akaka go to Fulham. Use Peñaranda for a replace till the summer. Interesting news again about Akaka. Really interesting news coming out of Watford recently. And what I want to know from you guys is how much would you accept for Stefano Akaka? I think he's surplus to requirements now. I think his ability is pretty limited. He's a good squad player, but no more than that. And I would be happy to sell to Fulham. I really would. It's his former club. He's been there before. He's worked under Claudio Ranieri at Roma. So it's just a fee now, I think. I think the Pozzos and Gene, obviously the Pozzo, and Duxbury will be willing to let Stefano go, but how much is the question, I think. Let me know in the chat. I'd be willing to accept about 5 million for him. And he's 29 now, I think, Stefano. Aaron says, can see VAR failing next year. Prem officials won't be competent enough to use it. Yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be some sort of training for the referees about how VAR operates. I thought there was a lack of understanding, particularly at the World Cup. And I think the referees obviously need to know how it's going to work. As I said, I don't think it was fair on them to make the final call. It should be left to someone else. But there should be training for the referees. It has to be slicker, and it really wasn't at the last World Cup in Russia. What does Shane do as a job? Shane, I'll leave it to him, but he's been brilliant with us on WD18. Fantastic person, really is. You might see a really passionate fan on the camera, but off it as well. He's a brilliant bloke. Does so much behind the scenes that you guys don't see. And honestly, what a top bloke. Really, really has. It's a bit of a cliche, but to have people like him makes it so much better for the channel, and the content wouldn't be as half as good. So yeah, a lot of credit has to go to Shane. Ryan D said, thoughts on Richard Scudamore, I think that's how you pronounce it, and PL clubs asked to contribute £250,000 towards bonus. I completely disagree with it. The amount of the money Richard's on at the moment is ludicrous, and a bonus of £5 million is unbelievable. Just out of order, really. Not a fan of it at all. And I'm happy. I'm in favour of clubs rejecting the bonus on the table. It's not right at all. I mean, whether it's his decision or the Premier League's, I think it's more of the Premier League as a whole's decision to give him an extra bonus. But my God, how much that man's getting paid. He does not need another £250,000 bonus from each club. Awful. I hope that Watford reject it as well. Aaron Bennis, who starts against Liverpool, Holebas or Messina? Ooh, tough one this. I think you've got to continue with Holebas just based on his stats. I actually don't think Holebas has really played that well this season, but his stats don't lie. I mean, he's made the most crosses for a fullback. He's got the most assists for a defender and contributed to the most goals as a defender. And realistically, I think his set pieces have improved, particularly against Southampton. They improved massively. Few dodgy ones at the start, but as the game went on, it gradually improved. And I think if we've got to continue. We've got to continue with him at left back. I do rate Adam Messina. I thought he was good against Wolves, but I think it would be harsh on Holebas from Javi to drop him because of the contribution he's making offensively and defensively. I thought he was good against Southampton. I think he should carry on, but I do think Messina is a fantastic option if Holebas's performance do drop off. A tough thing about the Liverpool game is, do we go all out for it and do we go for all 3 points, or are we going to play for a draw? I can't see Javi doing that. I think Watford, we've been one of those teams, if we try to play for a draw, we'll lose it. And if we try to go for a win, we'll either win or draw. We're one of those kind of teams. So I think we should just go all out for it. And I do think at Vicarage Road, if we make it a fortress, similar to the Spurs game, I believe we can get something from the Liverpool game. And there's some really big fixtures coming up in Watford season. We've obviously got the Liverpool game, we've then got the Leicester game, then got the Man City game, and then Everton away. 4 really tough games for Watford, really, really difficult. However, if we can come out of the Christmas period the right side, then I'm sure we can make great strides in the league this season. Jamie Slade asks, Deeney or I success? I think you've got to put Deeney back in because of the impact he made at St Mary's last week. I also think our success has been brilliant up front as well. I just think we've got to push Gerard Deulofeu back out to right midfield, especially Will Hughes picking up a knock, I think, last week. Success and Deeney leading the line. I'd go back to a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2. For Liverpool, if you're wondering, I'd go Foster in goal. I'd continue with Femini at right back. I'd go... the centre-back's a really difficult one because you could go for Cathcart and Mariappa. I think Maps has played well, but his distribution at times is a little bit not as good as Kabasele, basically. So I'd probably continue with Mariappa and Cathcart. I then put Holebas at left back. I thought Pereira was really poor against Southampton, but I'd continue with him at left midfield. Centre midfield, I go for Abdoulaye Doucouré and Etienne Capoue coming back from suspension. I put Gerard Deulofeu back onto the right-hand side, and then Deeney and success up front. We should play 4-4-2 versus Liverpool. Deeney success up front. Completely agree, Aaron. As I said with my lineup, I think that's definitely the best option. The only decision that Javi has to make is, does he continue with Mariappa and Cathcart? Kabasele obviously got suspended. Is he still suspended for Liverpool? Can someone let me know in the chat? Is he still suspended for Liverpool? I've just completely lost track of the games. Christian Kabasele. Someone let me know in the chat. Someone let me know in the chat if Kabasele's injured. Suspended for Liverpool because I'm not too sure, but that's probably the only decision, Javi has to make. It's either Kabasele, Cathcart. I'd probably replace Kabasele with Mariappa, but apart from that, that'd be the only change I'd make at centre-half. Yeah, I thought so, Aaron. His ban ended ages ago. Yeah, I thought it was just Mariappa played well. So Mariappa has played well, so I'd probably leave it unchanged, but I would not be surprised if Javi brought him back in. And yeah, so I think Deulofeu back onto the right-hand side, Pereira on the left, Doucouré and Capoue in the middle, and then Deeney and Success leading the line up front. Captain Mutato says, thoughts on possible signing on Diego Deme? I know he's a midfielder from Leipzig. I'll be honest, I have not seen a lot from him, but it's kind of intriguing to see the targets and the areas Watford are looking to sign a midfielder. I think we are lacking a little bit of depth. The fact we had to rely on a really out of sharpness Chalobah against Southampton, and we've only got Ben Wilmot then as a backup replacement. Yeah, it's not the best sign. So I do think we need to get a midfielder in. We've got Cleverley coming back, but I think another Capoue. Yeah, I would like another Capoue the way he's been playing this season, but another midfielder would be nice, just to provide a little bit more cover, because we shouldn't be relying on Ben Wilmot to come in at centre midfield. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Diego Deme, but it'd be interesting to see how that one progresses. Jude Watford Hornet says, don't get the criticism of Feminine at right back. People saying they're happy to sell him to Valencia when he's been our best right back by a mile, in my opinion. Great going forward and good defensively. Yeah, I don't really understand the criticism of Feminine, personally. I think Navarro did play quite well when he came in at right back against Arsenal, but I think Feminine is probably the better right back. I think actually Javi Gracia prefers Daryl Janmaat at that right back slot. People saying they're happy to sell him to Valencia with the rumours that they're targeting him. I would be against that unless the figure was pretty big, probably £20 million, because we did get him on a free and that would be brilliant business. But I can see why he's attracted to a team like Valencia, Champions League side. He's a very good right back. But I think we could see him move on because Javi doesn't see him as a right back. He sees him more as a right midfielder. And that's just me being honest. He definitely does not see him as a right back. Probably because he's very offensive as a defender. But yeah, he's our best right back, but I don't think he's Javi's best right back. I think that's the difference. Charlie Rowan, what's happening with Peñaranda, Jacob? So he has received his visa and he's now eligible to play for Watford, which means he can be in the matchday squad. He can be playing fixtures, which is great because we haven't seen a lot of him. Liverpool's going to be a tight game. Will Deeney start? Ooh, yes, he will. He will. I don't know why I'm deliberating it. I just think about the other options. Andre Gray, Stefano Akaka. Don't think Akaka will be here for much longer. Andre Gray's a good option. But I think a striker is needed in January. Definitely a really, really top striker. I think Success has done well in that role, but he's not an out-and-out striker. I think Deeney made a good impact against Southampton, but we need someone up top with him, and I don't think Andre Gray's the answer, unfortunately. Mr. Breeze, off topic, but I hope we smash Everton's back doors in. Excuse the language, but we've got 2 exciting games with Liverpool and Man City before that, so much to get excited about. Yeah, apart from the language, I do agree with what you're saying, Mr. Breeze. We've got some really, really exciting fixtures coming up as a Watford fan. As I said, we've got Liverpool. We're hosting Liverpool. We then go away to Leicester, which will be an emotional occasion for obvious reasons. We then come back to Vicarage Road and play Man City on the 4th of December. And then we go away to Everton. So after this week, it's a really, really big period in Watford season. Some really, really tough games, actually. Liverpool and Man City. If we can get 1 or 2 points out of that, you'd be buzzing. You would be buzzing. Two tough games. Everton away, I think we should be targeting a win. And I also think we should be targeting a win, well, at least a draw away at Leicester. Because we've got to beat those sides if we want to be pushing for top 10 and 7th this season. Aaron Bennis, Javi prefers taller defenders. That's why Kiko wasn't favoured at the start of the season and why Navarro was signed. Yeah, I think that's definitely a factor, Navarro's height. However, I do think Feminine is viewed by Javi as more of a winger, if I'm being completely honest, because he still does have the option Navarro at right back, but he persists with Kiko at right back. So yeah, I'm not too sure, but whether it's just tall defenders, I think he does see Feminine as more of a right mid, but I think Feminine is a cracking right back, and we saw under Silva last year. The game at Swansea away sticks out to me, seeing the best of Kiko Feminine, the way he bombed down the right flank, created chances, was an option most times, and was just defensively fantastic covering back as well. Kieran, I mentioned my preferred 11 for Liverpool. I'll go through it again quickly. So obviously Foster, Kiko, Mariupol, Cavaseli. I'll continue with Maps, Cathcart, Holobas, Deulofeu right mid, Capu, Decore in the middle, Pereira on the left, Deeney and Success up front. Yeah, I thought Charlie Austin's rant, Charlie, was a bit unusual. I thought it was honest, which is great, but thought it was very, very biased. So, with this Q&A, is there any questions you'd like to ask me? Any personal questions, you know, anything that you thought, I really wanted to ask Jacob about the channel, what I do, Watford, anything. I know it's pretty tactically related at the minute. So, if there is anything you want to ask me about, everyone's asking me about Charlie Austin. Ops on Deulofeu form. Oh, Deulofeu, arguably one of the most frustrating players around. Where do you start with Gerrard? Honestly, I think if he had end product, he'd be at a bigger club. But the lack of end product is worrying. The amount of chances he's had since he's coming back into this Watford side is a vast amount of opportunities, and he could be on. He could have had a hat-trick against Newcastle. We could have had a couple against Southampton. But he's just come back from injury, so we've got to give it time, but he has to be more clinical in front of goal. It really isn't good enough. And as I said to Shane, I spoke to him in the week, if we get those chances against Liverpool, he has to be taking them. I mean, we're not going to get many opportunities, and if we want to get something out of the Liverpool game at Vicarage Road, then Deulofeu has to. If he gets those chances, he has to be taking them. Dan Hull agrees. What he said about Chazza, rate the honesty, as I've said to everyone else, rate the honesty, but I thought it was very biased, and I thought a fair scoreline would have been 2-2. Charlie, do you play for a football team? I'm in the Watford Friendly League. Good question, Charlie. I used to play football and Sunday League. I still do play football, just casually, but I was actually at Watford Academy when I was 12, which is quite funny. Well, I had a trial. No, I wasn't at Watford Academy. I was on trial. I did play in the Watford Friendly League for a club called West Herts FC. Played in the white division. We then got relegated to the blue division. So that was good fun. However, I quit in year 11 as it came up to my exams. So, yeah, I don't play anymore. But I really enjoyed playing Sunday League. And obviously recommend it to anyone who loves football and loves playing it. Got any more questions? You change. Oh yeah, as I said, if any of you guys weren't here at the start, I'm in the white division. Great stuff, Charlie. As I said, you guys might have missed it. This week Wednesday. We've got the fans forum. We're going to hopefully bring some coverage after the forum. I think there's going to be a player. There's going to be Javi. There's going to be Scott Duxbury. So we'll get all the info for you guys because it is an exclusive event. Really looking forward to going with Shane and hopefully get some fan cams reacting to it. And I'm sure you guys will be looking forward to what's been said at the forum because there's always some really big talking points coming up. I mean, the last one, Peñaranda came up, Marco Silva, the transfers, tickets, etc. All the things going on at Watford Football Club is discussed in that couple of hours at Vicarage Road. And it'd be nice to see having a couple of the players down there. So we will bring you coverage of that on Wednesday. Mr. Briz, I love Deulofeu. He's been off target lately. Shockingly, and seeing his ability, I'll stick my neck out for him. Brilliant player. Needs to improve his end product. I agree, mate. By the way, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie. Hope you have had a good day. Make sure you come to the game on Saturday. If you see me outside, maybe just meet you and talk about Watford. That'd be good. Come for a fan cam. Kieran says, who'd win the fight, Shane or Aiden? Right, this is an interesting one. I think Aiden's got... Oh, that's tough, actually. Shane and Aiden are both aggressive fans. I think Aiden's got the height advantage, but Shane's probably got the body blows. So... Oh... I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'd be tight. I think people would pay to see that. I back Shane, says Mr. Breeze. Charlie, in January, who'd be your main signing? Obviously, we never know what players are going to come to Watford because of our transfer policy. But position-wise, I think we need another centre-back. I think we need another centre-mid. Maybe in a left-mid striker. Is centre-mid necessary? What I want to ask you guys is another central midfielder necessary to come in January? Is it a player that is needed in the squad once Cleverley's back? So Cleverley's back. Is another centre-mid needed? Let me know in the comment section. But I think another left mid is needed. But I know we've got Ken Simmer-Isaac. Maybe not a winger. I think another centre-mid and a striker. The spine just has to be improved a little bit more in this Watford side. I think it is good, but I think it could be better. I'll see you at Liverpool, definitely. I'll try and come for a fan cam. That's brilliant, Charlie. There was a point I was going to make about the fan cams, and I've kind of forgot where I was going to go. That was it. So we're going to be at Liverpool. We're going to be at Leicester. We're going to be at Man City at home. Everton. Let me double check the fixtures. Cardiff, West Ham, Chelsea, Newcastle. So over the next month, there's going to be a lot of fan cams. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications. Oh, interesting one. Aaron Bennis, if we get a centre mid, he needs to be able to take set pieces, in my opinion. Ward-Prowse would be the ideal signing, I think, and I think that's a brilliant shout. We do need someone on set pieces. Ward-Prowse is a really good option for us. Set pieces, fantastic. His free kicks, his corners. However, I've seen some stat floating around that apparently every time James Ward-Prowse has come on for Southampton, they've gone on to lose the game. So I don't know whether that's a bad omen if he did join Watford, but there were links in the summer that he would join on loan, and there was a 10 million fee at the end if we wanted to buy him. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's a Southampton boy through and through, and as Dan says, as if you'd get James Ward-Prowse, I think it'd be tough to prize him away from his hometown club. Pereira on set pieces, that's an interesting one. Let me know down in the live chat, who would you have on set pieces? Because it feels like Holebas has to take every set piece. He takes free kicks. I know he did that. He has done a few. Well, when was the last time he scored a free kick? I was thinking Middlesbrough. That was the last time he scored. That was the last time he scored a banger. He scored against Southampton, but I agree. The percentages say in-swinger corners are the most effective. Why do we have Holebas on an out-swinger corner? It does not make any sense to me. I think Pereira doesn't really offer anything in the box, but he has a good set piece on him, I think. I'd get him on free kicks and I'd get him on left corners and Holebas on right corners so he can whip them in. Who'd win in a fight, Jacob or Robin? Got to back myself in that one, but don't worry, we'll never fight each other. But Robin has got the height advantage. I don't know, we're kind of the same height. This is a great question from James Redfern. Who's the one player from the Pozzo era who we don't have anymore, who you'd love back? One that screams out to me initially is Fernando Forestieri. I absolutely adore the bloke. I think he's a brilliant professional and a player, and he would offer something different to us. I think it's a tough one. For looks, I'd go Marco Cassetti, arguably the coolest man in football. What a man. Everyone loves Marco Cassetti. Absolute legend. The beard was fantastic. Trying to think of any other players. I'd go Forestieri. Let me know. It's got to be Forestieri. Yeah, James Forestieri. Forestieri, says Charlie. He's a B-Tech Pereira. Love Cassetti, except at Wembley 2013. Yeah, that wasn't a good one on Wilfried Zaha. I'm trying to think of another player. I'll tell you one of the most underrated players in the Pozzo era. I think it's Fitzhall. What a player he was. He came and did a job. Brilliant centre-half, a leader at the back as well. I'd say probably the worst player in the Pozzo era is probably like Samba Diakite, because he did actually play games, the likes of Jeffrey Mungibia. Steve Leo Belek offered absolutely nothing. So, yeah. Actually, one player, I tell you what, one player who I would have back is Miguel Layún. He's been brilliant for Sevilla. He was really good for Porto as well. I think he's a lot more quality at left back. Toja, what a left foot that man had. Still miss Vidra. I still miss Vidra, but I don't think maybe he would get in our team. Yeah, that's a tough one, actually. I think he probably would get in the squad anyway. I think I'd probably take Layún back. Yeah, James, I would take Layún back. What a player he was. Don't know why we got rid of him. Berghaus. Oh, that's a great shout from Charlie. Toza, Watford's greatest ever player. Wonder of left foot. That free kick against Millwall in 2014 was an absolute rocket. Gabriel Angela, probably the most prolific defender I've ever seen at Vicarage Road. Ake, brilliant shout from Aaron. Ake is a really good shout because he would shore up that defence. Him and Cavaselli would be a phenomenal partnership, I think. Doyley. I wouldn't say he's Pozzo era though. He joined in 2001. Who's our biggest rivals in the Prem? I think it's either Palace or Everton. The reason I say that, Palace is more Wilfried Zaha in the playoff final, etc., and the kind of battles we've had in the Premier League. But obviously Everton is for silver. I mean, the man has really brought out a hatred from the Watford fan base, which is interesting, and they don't like us either. So I think that will be tasty come December the 8th at Goodison Park. Gabriel Tamas. Love getting sent off for us. My shout for worst play in the Pozzo era. Right, worst play in the Pozzo era, guys. Let me know in the comments. One of the most improved players in the Pozzo era would be Savic. If you remember, he played one under-23 game. Is now the captain of Red Star Belgrade and who beat Liverpool in the Champions League. Unbelievable story. The man literally did not play for Watford and now he captained Red Star Belgrade to the most historic victory in the club's history. In the most iconic win in the club's history. Ben Watson. I never know why we let Totsa go. James Redfern. Gerardo. Thought he had ability a little bit lightweight. Chung Yun Park. Yeah, that has got to be up there. One of the worst. Awful. I mean, I remember at the time there were loads of press about him from his home nation because it was a massive deal at the time. He was at Arsenal, went on loan to Watford, and there were more fans, and there was more fans for Chung Yun Park. Sam Diakite, abysmal. Alexander Merkel had the odd good game, but overall rubbish. Asaid Belkalem. Oh my, I'm whipping out some absolute rascal choices here. I've got the Watford mishmash in front of me. Have I missed anyone here? Paredes. Oh, that is that Alan Neon. Oh, I had a man crush on Marco Cassetti and Christian Patocchio. That chip against Bournemouth in the League Cup was something else. What a player. Davide Ferroni scored a fantastic goal against Norwich in the League Cup in 2013-14. Fabrini got blown over by the wind. Hector Bellerin, what an improvement that man made. Hogg. I'm from Uruguay and I love Watford. Great stuff, Gaston. Alberto Riera. There's loads of choices. Asai Belkalem is an absolutely top-notch choice. I loved Tiger Helson. Newton, the centre-back, he made an appearance at Manchester City away in the FA Cup. Sean Murray saw him more nights out, to be honest. Oh, Sean Murray. He is now, interesting story, he's gone over to Denmark to play for one of the assists. So, 2012-13, one of Gianfranco Zola's assistant coaches now managing the Danish league. He has bought Sean Murray from Colchester United to play in that league. It's an unbelievable story. Rennie Gilmartin, no. Reg was a top man. I remember I did a penalty shootout with Troy and Reg at the Watford training ground. He was such a nice man. Really, really nice man. Alex Gordon. Oh, I love Gilmartin. What a man. Top bloke. Lloyd Doyley, Tommy Hoban, Sean Murray. Yeah. Nathan Place says, how was China? Really, really good experience. I didn't get to see a Chinese Super League game. I didn't get to see Odi and Igalo, but great experience. Great to see a different culture. And yeah, once in a lifetime opportunity. So, going to wrap up the Q&A. If you've got any more questions, leave them now. We're going to give maybe 5 more minutes. Obi Alari, Alex Hayho. Any more questions, let me know down in the comment section, the live chat. Anything from what I do, W18, Watford. Let me know. Who is Watford's biggest team player right now? I'd say Etienne Capoue. I think without Etienne, we lack a real rock in the midfield. I think Decore is brilliant, but Capoue has been phenomenal. I think Mariap is a brilliant team player as well. Someone who I think is very underrated by the Watford fan base. The loyalty and the commitment he shows to every single game always comes over to the fans to clap, and it's really nice to see that, and someone who gets the fan base and gets where the club is and the history of the club and the heritage of the club. I think Adrian Murray just buys into everything about Watford Football Club. Best career mode legend on FIFA, Ibarbo. Oh, we haven't heard. We took one of the worst Pozzo era signings is Ibarbo. Surely everyone was buzzing about him when he joined because of his FIFA stats, but actually produced very, very little. Is Shane a legend? I'm not even going to answer that. Of course he is, 100%. What happened to Joe Ekstrand after the Deeney moment? Yeah, where's he gone? Got injured. I know he had a big injury issue. I think he did his cruise ship. I remember it was Bournemouth at home, I believe, and he got stretchered off. And that was the end of him. I don't know where he is now. I know he had a trial at Rotherham, but I haven't seen him since. Have you got a girlfriend? Unfortunately, I haven't got a girlfriend. Just don't have the time. Aaron Wall says, who do you sign? Would you sign someone to replace Foster in the future or trust Dalberg when he's probably going to be 20 by then? Oh, I know there were links to Tom Heaton. I'd definitely keep Ben Foster for this season and then next season. And then I think the plan is Dalberg does take over unless he's not willing to stay for 2 years. I could see that happening, but I think Tom Heaton should stay on our radar because he's a brilliant alternative. We need Cleverley back. Yes, I do think we need Cleverley back. Where he fits in the system, I'm not too sure. I don't think Tom Cleverley fits the 4-4-2 system. He plays in it. He's more of a just behind the striker role. And I think if there is an injury and there is a change in system from Javi, Tom Cleverley is integral to kind of stick the team together and is that pivot man in the middle. Favourite player? Oh, they're all rolling in now. Now I've put the pressure on to get you the questions in before I end. They're rolling in. So, favourite Watford player of all time? Right, this is a big one. Oh, Shane, you've really, really teed it up for me here. One player I absolutely loved, was Tommy Smith. Tommy Smith. What a brilliant player he was. So clinical. Loved Heider Helguson. I loved Ashley Young when he was in a Watford shirt, but unfortunately that didn't materialise. Gavin Marn was an unsung hero back in 2006, someone I had a bit of a soft spot for. But if I was going to have to pick one player, someone who has been here for a period of time, I think Deeney obviously has to be up there. I think Mariap has to be up there. If you're going from current players, someone who I always looked up to was Tommy Smith. I just thought the way he conducted himself on and off the pitch was absolutely fantastic. Ben Foster, I think, is up there. The players who have been here, I started supporting in 2006, Watford. I also have a soft spot for Luther Blissett, having got to know him. What a fantastic man he is as well. So Luther, from players I haven't seen live, Luther Blissett is my favourite player. Favourite player that I haven't seen live. Favourite player that I've seen live is probably Tommy Smith. Love the bloke. What a player. But there were others. I just don't think I can pick one. I really don't, Shane. Right. Jack. No, sorry, not Jack. Go for that Cardiff keeper when they go down. Etheridge, yeah, not bad shout. James Redphone, this is a really nice question. What's your story? Is WD18 a full-time or a side project? Keep up the good work. Appreciate the comment, James. So, 2 years ago, or June 2017, in the summer and the pre-season, ahead of the 2017-18 campaign, I had the vision to set up a Watford fan channel. Someone else who had the vision of setting up a Watford fan channel was Robin. And I saw his tweet on Twitter. I was just searching through the hashtag WatfordFC. And we merged together. And I thought it took a lot of courage to start it off, to get the ball rolling, because there's always that scepticism, that what if and what could go wrong, and we could just be made as a laughing stock. But I've always wanted to run a fan channel, and to do your own club is a privilege, really, and your hometown club as well. So to do that with Robin, so we set that up in 2017, the summer of 2017, and as time went on, we kind of got some people who wanted to get involved. Shane was, I think, a lot of credit, and I know he's watching at the moment, but a lot of credit has to go to Shane because he had the balls, or as Troy Deeney says, the cojones, to come on after the Liverpool game and the Watford Hornet as well. And Shane and Jude had the courage to come on for a fan cam when we were nothing. We hadn't had any fan cams before this point. But Shane had a passion for Watford Football Club. He really believed in his opinion and what he thought, and he wanted to let people know, because Twitter can only do so much. Getting instant reaction is another way of doing it, and I think a lot of praise has to go to Jude and also Shane as well for coming on that first fan cam. And we did that game against Liverpool, and then I honestly believe if we didn't get any fan cams after that point, it would have been a struggle to continue the fan cams. But honestly, massive praise has to go to them. Anyway, the Liverpool game, we did it and we just kept doing it, and more people started to come, And I think the changing point actually was one of the Bristol City game in the League Cup. We'd just been knocked out, and a lot of fans were very vocal about the performance on that day, and we got a flood of people. It almost felt a bit like Arsenal Fan TV. In that relatively small stage, we only had about 500 subscribers. We literally had a circle of people watching the fan cams take place, and that was the moment when I thought, you know what, we can really make a good go of this. And hopefully we have. Really enjoying doing this and doing WD18. It's a real privilege to kind of to represent the Watford fan base on YouTube, and hopefully there's more to come. Really, really, like, probably it's my passion. Probably it is my passion. I think that will go for the other guys as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people behind the scenes at WD18 that you don't see. You see me and Robin do the interviewing, etc. But people who help out with the camera, people who help out with the editing, etc. It's a team effort. So yeah, the last season. So I'm not going to waffle on for too long. And I think the Chelsea game was a massive highlight. That took off massive, and going on 90 min and going on the radio has really helped me and advertise the channel and help the channel as a whole. And I'm looking to build on it and continue the channel this year. I'm hoping we do have a really good season, because it will only do the channel the world of good. We want Watford to do well just because we're Watford fans, but also to give you guys the best content as possible. You don't want to see us ranting, well, maybe, but you want to see reaction after wins, etc. That's what we want to see. So yeah, really enjoying it at the moment, and hopefully, long may it continue. Will Roberto go? Don't think so. No. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Hughes needs to be dropped. I think that's harsh, Alex, but I mean, I think he's picked up an injury, so I think he'll be dropped more out of him being injured than actual choice. If you can have any manager at Watford, who would you have? Shane has this thing about Tim Sherwood. I wouldn't have Tim Sherwood. I'd have... I love Javi. I think I'd keep him. I'd keep him anyway. If I was going to pick I think a better question is, if I was going to pick another manager, a realistic manager from another side. I like Eddie Howe. Super young manager. I really like. Oh, that's a tough one. I really do think we've got probably one of the best managers outside the top six. Javi Gracia is a fantastic coach. Really do like him. I used to absolutely love Danny Graham. Yeah, I have a passion for Danny Graham. What a man. What have you thought of Deulofeu? Needs to work on his end product. Deulofeu is trash, I have to say it. Wouldn't say that. Finishing has been trash. One player who you saw Watford being linked with and really wanted, but now you're relieved that we never signed him. Deulofeu is a fantastic example of this, Aaron. I'm trying to think of any others apart from Deulofeu. Is there any signings that you really wanted and it hasn't materialised and you're actually happy it didn't work in the end? Gazelle was linked with Watford, and thank God we didn't get him. He looks awful. Have you heard anything about Anderson Talisca? Has been linked, but it's gone dead. Not too sure whether he's going to be joining in January. Yeah, really touch and go. The reports say he might do, though. I missed old Harry Hornet. Yeah, I do as well. Oh, God, they're rolling in. Thanks, guys, for the interaction. It's been a really fun Q&A. I go into the King Power. Yep. See you guys after the match. That'd be brilliant, Nathan. Come along. Alex Gordon, is it a disgrace that we've only sold 400 tickets for Everton on Monday night for kind of a derby when we got a 1,800 allocation? If it was any other situation, I'd say Saturday, Sunday, I agree with you, Alex, that we should be taking more. But a Monday night in Liverpool, there's no trains back after the game. It's expensive. If you want to go on the coach, it is cheap. It's cheap to go, but you're going to be back in the early hours of the morning. Yeah, I don't think it's a disgrace, personally. I'm trying to forget about the 1,800 allocation because that was never going to get sold out. But 400, I think, is a good effort considering. I think there'll be more. If we can kind of get 500, 600 down to Goodison Park and make it a half-decent atmosphere, that would be good. But you're never going to get a full allocation on a Monday night football in Liverpool. Really tough to do that. What do you think about Lampard's management so far? I like the way he operates. I think he's a fantastic man manager. I think he's a fantastic bloke as well. What do you think the score will be against Liverpool? I've gone for a 2-2. Aaron, Javi is the most underrated coach in the league. Doesn't get nearly as much attention as he deserves. I think that's a fantastic point, Aaron. The likes of Eddie Howe, the likes of Marco Silva get a whole host of attention. But actually, Javi Gracia, I like it because it keeps him under the radar, keeps him out of the spotlight, and I think he likes it as well, not getting too much praise. Only praise when we were in the spotlight after the Spurs game, etc. And he got a lot of attention after that one. But yeah, he's a fantastic coach, and I hope he does sign that new contract. I would have probably, well, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. Would you have given Javi a new contract now or wait till January? Now starting to think of it, I think it is good to offer it him now because they don't offer it to him now because we don't want to repeat the Silva situation where a club comes in and tries to prize him away and also provides a little bit of stability to the club. It's disappointing, Alex. It's Guy's fault in my opinion. Yeah, Shane is right. It's disappointing, but it's not the Watford fans' fault. We can't do a lot about that. I will be making the trip though to Everton. I'm going on the coach up there, so if you are going on the coach, might see you on there. And then I am getting the train back the next morning. How long do you think Gracia will be around before Big Class starts trying to get him? I think it would take us to get to Europa League for bigger clubs to come in for Javi, or 8th, or a really good top 10 finish, and where we've scalped a lot of teams and beat a lot of teams, big teams in particular, the likes of Spurs. If we manage to pull something up against Liverpool, Man City, those sort of games, that's when the attention comes in. But if we continue to do what we do, maybe just secure a top 10, and I think we stay. Have you got the inflatable snakes for Everton away? I'm sure they'll be in full operation from the Watford away end. Do you think Watford, Newcastle will get relegated? I'm new to the channel. Nice to see you, George. I don't think they'll get relegated. I think if Rondon can start firing on all cylinders, they've got a world-class manager in Rafael Benitez, and if they can improve in January, it really does depend on their January business, because if they bring a few players in, then I think they could have a really strong end to the season. Do you regret signing Silva? No. I thought he was the man to take us to that next level when he joined. Clearly not. His attitude wasn't there. Clearly there was some disruptions between him, Gino, and Scott Duxbury. I think that's clear for all to see. So, no, I'm not disappointed at all. What happened with Jukanovic? Barotas then leaving. Correct decision in the end by Gino. Right, I think I'm going to wrap up the Q&A. We're going for 50 minutes. Any last questions? Let me know quickly. Any last questions? Really appreciate your time today, guys. If you can subscribe to the channel, that'd be most appreciated. Got a lot of content coming over for the December. The amount of games, they're coming thick and fast. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Cheers, Shane. Nice haircut. games are coming thick and fast, as I said. So make sure you check out all the content. We're going to try and get a podcast done on Wednesday. Fan forum on Wednesday, so a lot of content as well. And then we've got Liverpool on Saturday and the build-up, etc. So a lot of videos coming up our way. Well, we finished the season. I'm going to go for 7th hour and I'm going positive and continue this form. 20 points, you can't really complain with that. Let's keep this up. Notifications are on. Brilliant. Fan. Love that. Good to have Javi under the radar. Agreed, Hanyam. Got to go, Jacob. See you at Liverpool. See you then, Charlie. Thanks, James. Really appreciate it. When's Liverpool preview going to be up? It's going to be up next Thursday. Nathan, yeah, he was a horrible piece of work. Opinions on João Pedro. 32 goals at various youth levels in Brazil. Says it all, really. I think he's a fantastic prospect. Will we get to see him in the Watford shirt? We'll have to wait and see. But he's going to continue his development at Fluminense until January the 1st, 2020. And then we'll take it from there. So, 2-2, Sean. That's when I'm going to wrap up the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate the amount of... We've got up to almost 50 viewers at one stage. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. As Nathan says, make sure you subscribe down below. We're all going on a European tour, Aaron. I hope so too. And if we do go on a European tour, would love it. Absolutely love it. So, don't forget to subscribe to W18. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. If you can leave a like on the Q&A, that is greatly appreciated. Comment down below what you made of it. Follow me on Instagram at JMColeshaw and on Twitter at Coleshaw17. And I will catch you in the next Q&A and the next video.